Oh my gosh. Oh, man. Book today and the heat. This heat is ridiculous. And it's absurd. And it is fucking mind melting. Mind melting, I say. Ugh. Bleh. Sick of the shims. The shimminess. And the schwitz and the schwitz. There we go. Looks a little better. Ugh. There we go. Ooh. Ugh, man, my hair's all fucked up. Talking to Minnesota says agreed. Just pay off your student loans. I am freedom. Fuck yeah, dude. Hell yeah. That's some good shit. I am like so fucking done with this heat. I'm so sick of it right now. Ugh. Just sitting here all just suffering in angst and fucking anguish that is the heat right now. Ugh. Karaoke Duffy's tonight. It's Sunday. Karaoke was yesterday and Friday. Are you like time fucked? Like, are you time fucked right now? I know you just came back from Europe. Is your brain like a day behind? Because that's... Oh shit, it's officially Sunday. Rip. Yeah. I was streaming karaoke yesterday. There was like barely anybody for the most part. It was actually pretty chill. Like, it was just me, Tyler, and Ed, the KJ that night. It was just basically us three for the most part. There was a few people that, popped in and sung some songs, but out of the entire time, it was basically just us three. Took an edible yesterday and was fucking out. Damn. Took an edible and then just went yoink-ski, gaboink-skis, just like... I mean, especially after the return from trip and, probably being a little jet-lagged and, and all that from traveling and shit and everything in between. You just kind of need a day to reset like that. Oh, and I do know that I have this Tuesday and Wednesday off too, so, like, all in all, if you got any, like, rafting plans or anything for Tuesday, I should at least be able to be down, for that now. At least have some availability for it. Finally better today. Nice. Yeah, and for me right now, just, like, normally I'd be fine, but, like, with this heat, my energy is, like, down, like, a third what it normally would be. Like, if I'm, like, if I'm normally, let's say, at, like, a 70%, I'm pretty much at, like, 50% or, like, 40% energy right now. Rafting Tuesday. I'd be down for it. We'll just have to plan it with some people and shit. See if anyone else is down. Nice. There we go. Ugh. Man, it feels like my brain's just like a little oven right now. And my whole body. Ugh. Boo. It's something I can't escape. I can't escape it. It's just, ugh. Man. But, let's see what's happening for the two. What is going on for today? Harris expected to pick her running mate now. Didn't that get leaked or some shit? I kept seeing like a video or like a few articles saying that, oh shit, she accidentally leaked out her VP. Which I think was at least leaning towards Josh Shapiro, but Tim Walz like canceled events basically to be interviewed as vice president, for Kamala, so it's basically looking like it might be him. Which I'd actually be okay with, who's the VP. I don't know. I think she's going to, from what I heard, she's officially going to announce that Tuesday. But from what I understand, it got leaked out, so I think it's basically between Shapiro or Walz. Which, if it's between those two, I really hope the fuck it's Tim Walz. Because at least he's kind of, decent. At least for accounts, I would argue. Is it Shapiro a major warmonger? Yeah, he's a hardcore Israeli simp. He's one of the few Dems that goes really hard on, the Palestinian protests and shit. So yeah, he's a fuckbag. He's a center-right, corporatist, fucking Joe Manchin-style Democrat. And the main reason why his name was even mentioned was because of Pennsylvania. He happens to be the governor, of that state, so having him as VP would strategically guarantee a lock there, but basically say fuck Michigan. So it's like, you could still probably win Pennsylvania without him, like having someone like Tim Walz, and also at least have a lot more of a better chance of having Michigan too. So frankly, it's just like, it's basically like we guarantee to lose but win one, or we at least have a chance to win both, kind of thing. Risk your bet, though. No Yahoo butt buddy? Yeah, pretty much. And it seems like, at least when it comes to the face of, this bullshit, Biden's, administration has kind of, stepped away a little bit. It's pretty much all about Kamala and, everyone else around her right now. Honestly, at this rate, it might as well just make her president right now. Honestly, I mean, because, let's just be honest. Has Biden done fucking anything since he stepped down? From the campaign, and shit. Not really. I think he's been around and has done, some speeches and shit, or whatever the fuck, but, he's pretty much, for all intents and purposes, just kind of, kind of shuffled his way off into a corner and is just sitting there sad. Sad old Parkinson's-addled man. And also, I actually just kind of recently saw something that I thought was kind of interesting. I didn't, really see any details to it quite yet, but I did see, a video title about it where I think Josh Shapiro might have, a murder cover-up. I really don't know anything about it, so it could just be bullshit, but, it seems like there also is, some questionable shit about him, too. GOP is already trying to blame her for Biden's shit border policies. Oh, I know. Trying to, get at her for being the border czar and everything, which, honestly, that's probably, at least for now, the only thing they could kind of go after her for. At least for now. And even then, they can't really, full on, go all in about that, because if they do, they're basically going to be calling out their own shit. And they can't do that. I mean, because if they actually, broke down what, they like and don't like about, the border policies, they actually would pretty much be lockstep with it. They'd be all on board with it. So, I mean, they can't, go into nitty-gritty about it, because then they agree with her. And Biden. So they're just like, oh, she's weak, and she doesn't do anything in open borders or something. That's pretty much all they can use, is just buzzword shit. And even then, it's so fucking obvious that it's just bullshit that, I mean, unless you just are willing to, believe a lie because it's been told you 8 cajillion times, and it's one of those things where, no one's going to believe it. even if people think, yeah, maybe there needs to be restrictions and this and that, tighten up, the border stuff, but to have the idea of it's wide open, it's a little absurd. Like, I mean, it just seems like it would be, you know, it just seems like it's something that most people should be able to understand as just ridiculous because of how just outlandish it is. Yeah, I want to see if there is actually really. I'm trying to see if there actually is like maybe something. Hmm. Really enough, there is like some stuff, but I don't think it has anything to directly do with him. Hmm. So I'm gonna have to look into it a little more, I guess. Making Paris president would be a bad strategy. Then anything gets blamed on her instead of Biden. I mean, it's. I mean, the GOP is already going to do that anyway. I mean, they already are when it comes to the border policy shit. I just, I mean, they were even like, blaming some shit on Biden, even with like Obama stuff from back in the day, and still even trying to throw his name in there somehow, like every now and then. It's like what? I mean, they're just willing to like throw anyone who happens to be like a popular name in the party as just like, oh well, see, they're just a part of this broader left Democrat agenda. So it's just one of those things when you get used to their shit, it's just about like moving past that and at least just trying to kind of argue the like nitty gritty of it because they won't or can't half the time because they don't know their shit and or they actually agree with it. They just don't like a Democrats doing it. The Democrats taking the shit and the credit that we're supposed to have, goddamn, down on my watch. Not gonna have some DEI woman, getting in here trying to take this, restrictive racist border policy when that's supposed to be the white boy, thing over here. Come on now. That's pretty much just how they feel about it. It's like, that's supposed to be the white man thing that we do. God damn it. It's not supposed to be Democrats doing it. What the fuck is he doing? Obviously watching something, but I didn't realize the fuss would have such an annoying little. Let's see what little things are happening here. There is just so many random little like memes about this like retired hitman Turkish dad from the Olympics. Dude, I love it. Like the dude who won like a gold medal for like the target shooting thing or whatever in the Olympics, and pretty much everybody's looking at the silver medal winner who is just straight up like a full meme. I mean, dude, look at this. I mean, look at this guy. Like Turkish dad vibes, bro. This is Turkish John Wick. And he has a cat, and he also shared pictures of his cat. And it's like, yeah, bro. I love it. And also, it's just straight up some Turkish dad vibes, bro. Just wearing a casual t-shirt, hand in a pocket, just that silver fox look, and just regular old reading glasses. Fucking fly, get out of here. Have you thought about all the ways Joe Brandon could still manage to get involved, fuck up the election? I don't think he could. I guess he could, but I don't really like. Everyone's kind of fucked him off. Like no one's really paying attention to him anymore. That's why I was kind of mean from earlier. It's like, I mean, Joe hasn't really done anything, nor has anyone really paid attention to him because there isn't really a reason to anymore. Even if he's still technically running shit. They love the Turkish dad. For them, competing in the Olympics was the most important day of their lives. For him, it was a Tuesday. You just troll the entire Olympic shooters? They send a retired assassin if you won't kill him more than go get some medals. Dude's making sure he didn't get the gold medal to prevent suspicion. Damn. Well, if he starts doing interviews with Simp for Harris, but completely botches them. Well, the fact that Joe Biden speaking just in general tends to do that, I mean, I would imagine it wouldn't be that hard for him to do that. But at the same time, is anyone going to be paying attention to that when you got Mamala, going on? Everyone's all that Mamala. Want me some Mamala Harris, some coconut milkers. Like, everyone's on that train, so I don't really see, like, even if, Biden were to, like, almost, like, try to intentionally sabotage it, I just don't think it'd work because no one would be paying attention to him outside of, like, look at this old fuck. Maybe he should sit down for the presidency, too. I think the DNC is pretty much, like, straight up have, like, abandoned him entirely. Like, they don't want anything to do with him anymore, and they're just, which I don't blame them. So, and I think they pretty much have purposely cordoned him off in a way to where, he's going to cause the most minimal amount of unintentional damage, or intentional damage, too, maybe. I just don't really see how, like, what importance he would have for anything, because, like, at this rate. Like, he had his moment back in 2020, and he should have, just kept it at that. Instead of doing this whole bullshit, of, like, him running and sabotaging a lot of shit with this whole, like, I mean, frankly, even, with all said and done, I'm pretty sure all in all, you still fucked it. Like, even when it comes to the legacy, so to speak, like an LBJ style thing, it's like, no, I don't even think he gets that. If Biden didn't step aside, yes, I actually do. Like, the 25th, yeah, I really do think, it's, like, I mean, considering that, like, them, Schumer, like, a lot of these, Democrats, especially as soon as those big names started, openly talking about it, at least behind the scenes, that's when a lot of other people started falling in line. Because when it got, especially old guard, like, Democratic apparatus, like, pretty much, like, kind of lock in step with a certain agenda, the rest of them fall in line pretty fucking quickly. So it's one of those things where they definitely, like, were likely going to at least threaten something. Whether it's the 25th Amendment or, force a, primary in the convention, I mean, it would have been something. I mean, to be fair, it could have been 25th, maybe open contested convention or some shit. I mean, but they were planning something, if he wasn't going to step aside. But I think there was enough pressure, to the point where he just had to. Just like how we have Turkish dad just chilling. Retired Turkish assassin. Harris would be the biggest fuck you ever to Clinton. Not only would she have lost to Trump, but someone else would steal her thunder. I mean, good. I mean, if anything, from what I understand, like, hasn't Clinton endorsed Harris? Like, I'm pretty sure she's, like, on board with her, too. I mean, but I'm not sure. I know that Clinton was at least, like, one of the main advisors to Joe Biden, like, during his campaign, so, I mean, it wouldn't necessarily surprise me if, there's some animosity between that shit, for sure, especially considering that she always wanted to be the Madam President. And now the first Madam President is going to be Harris instead of her. Yeah. Do this bullshit. Come on. Gently. Cautiously. Ooh. No. Fucking Christ. Come on. Piece of shit. There we go. Damn. Probably, but then Clinton Obama initially wants someone other than Harris as a nominee. I honestly don't know. I think so, but I mean, I couldn't really say for certain one way or the other, to be honest. Motherfucker. Man, I gotta get another piece, dude, because it's driving me nuts. Bruh, it's screwed back in there, you fucking idiot. Holy shit. Damn. Slater said the Trump roadblocks attempt had the opposite effect. That's what people expected. Trump got too cocky and now is plummeting in the polls due to unforced errors like his loser VP nominee. Yeah, I mean, pretty much like I mean, that and also the fact that a lot of that momentum is flipped for Harris, too, and a lot of the Democrats are now galvanized while, the Republicans are now starting to flop around like a fucking fish. Like, I mean, even for me, I was kind of surprised because I just straight up thought, like, at least especially with Biden there, that momentum was just going to be on a Trump, kind of thing, like straight up. And honestly, I would argue that if Biden didn't drop out, I think it'd still be that way. But I mean, all things considered, now that Harris is, pretty much the nominee now, and they had to like rethink the entire fucking game plan, it like threw an entire wrench, and now they don't know what to do. And if anything, they're having to do a lot more damage control, more so than ever, in comparison, because even with like, the idea of, them being weird and all this other shit and their fucking insane policies, they could just, but Biden, and that's pretty much it. And they would actually kind of, go with it. I'm just hoping it's Waltz. Shapiro or Kelly would mean a long and alcohol-filled election. Yeah, I think it's still going to be an alcohol-filled election for me, but yeah, definitely. Bashir would probably be decent, but he's very unknown. Yeah, and if anything, he's pretty much. And he's also not exactly the greatest charismatic person ever, even though he's actually pretty decent. But and also at the same time, yeah, he's not really well known, and he's certainly nowhere near like an option right now at this point. It really seems like it's going to probably be Shapiro, Kelly, or Waltz. Way better. That's a sleepy dog. Sleepy, lazy bones. Yeah. There's really not much going on for the tube for today. Boo. I think Mom's live, doing her thing. She's doing a tier list. What's going on here? She's looking at fruits. Straight up a fruit tier list. What about the Chungus guy, Pritzker? I mean, it wouldn't necessarily be my choice, but I think he'd be alright. And also, from my understanding, his policies aren't really too bad, but I just don't really know too much about him. But I mean, from what it seems like, I mean, it's already been narrowed down at this rate. It's just about like really who is it going to be between like the 2 or 3 different choices that she's cycling through. And I think my call, I think it's going to be Waltz. I'm not like 100% confident though on that one, but I mean, like I'm leaning towards that. If it's like Kelly, I wouldn't necessarily be surprised. But if it's Shapiro, I actually would be a little bit because like that is actually like a major fuck up, and that would probably be a sign of some other fuck ups to come, kind of thing. So hopefully she actually does like a decent olive branch and puts Waltz in there. I don't really trust him. He's a billionaire. Well, if that's the case, then well, fuck him then. He might have like some decent policies or something, maybe. But if he's like a billionaire fuck and also like nah. Tab checking. Okay, yeah. Still doing final tab. Final tab. But, man, there's. I mean, Sundays are just like the worst, low key. Just, just like barely fucking anything. And it's just ridiculous. Sweet. Oh, sweet, I say. Mayor Pete wouldn't be terrible. Oh, God. Nah, he would be bad. Like, not a lot of people like him that much, and the average, like, kind of like blue collar type, that kind of knows of him a little bit, don't really see him as like very trustworthy or anything. I sure shit don't trust him. So it's like I don't know. To him, that seems like it'd be not as bad as like someone like Shapiro, but oh my god, like ugh, that would be bad. That would be a really horrible pick. Because I know that's been mentioned a few times. But if that's the case, then also Venom can do his little meme of Hairy Butt, the Hairy Butt 24. So Walsh Bashir a bust. I guess. Well, I'm not like I wouldn't necessarily say full bust, but yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm not. I wouldn't necessarily say completely. I mean, I'll have to see about some of these other people. I just know that some of them, like Pete Shapiro, etc. Like some of these, I'm just like, fuck that. But I mean, they're. I don't know. There's like some choices where I wouldn't necessarily be like ecstatic about, but I wouldn't be like, ugh. It'd be more like, all right. So I don't know. Like, it's the same thing with Harris. Like, I'd prefer if like we had a different candidate, instead of her. But honestly, logically, it makes the most sense because she could just pretty much assume a lot of Biden's campaign funds and all sort of shit. So makes sense. But if she wouldn't, sure shit be my fucking option. So it's up to her to maybe make a consolidation for like the progressive leaning side of her party and maybe put someone like Waltz in there. Bashir, I don't think it's going to happen. I'd like him. Maybe a little more than Waltz, but he's just a lot more of an awkward guy, so he doesn't really do great in front of a camera. Like, I mean, if you listen to him talk, he is gonna, like, he's kind of awkward. I wouldn't necessarily say, like, full-on, like, uncharismatic and avoid, but, it's kind of hard to be like, oh, yeah. It's hard to be ecstatic about him, I mean, he talks the right shit, though. I mean, he's like a big union guy, not like the greatest on climate, but at least, wants to push the Green New Deal stuff. So, he's not like, like shitty, but he's just not really great at speaking 100%. I wonder what she's going to run on. I would probably women's issues, like abortion access and Republicans being kind of freaks and shit because I don't think it wasn't the Harris campaign, but there was like a Democratic PAC or some shit that put a campaign ad out there, and low key it kind of goes fucking hard. I mean, in a sense of just like painting the Republicans as these weird creepy freaks and shit. We'll have to check it out later because I'm just on a lunch break right now, so I can't like break it down now. But I know where I can go find it, so maybe we'll look at it later night. But I'll say she should have a full platform. She should, But I think they're just going to hyper focus on some hot key issues that the Republicans are kind of freaky about, and just go with that. Though I would think that she should also put, like, at least advocating a ceasefire on her platform, as well. Or at least when it comes to foreign policy issues there. Um, like, just like kind of, continue pushing the whole student loan debt thing, like medical debt too, and like, I mean, I guess just like this typical shit, but at least, for maybe like her issue, like, or at least for her, I don't know. I don't think she's going to touch Gaza with a 10-foot pole. I don't think she is either. At least right now. I mean, she is in a, I don't know, like, she's not going to be open about that for right now. She's going to, like, be pretty reclusive on that, for now, up until she's elected. Or at least around the time, that starts coming around. But yeah, it's one of those things where, she's going to have to, like, for now avoid it, even though it weirdly enough might hurt her either way. Like, whether it's, I think it's like just catch 22 for her. It's like if she doesn't say anything, then people are like, what the fuck's your position on this? And if she does take a side or a position on it or says something or tries to do like this weird eggshell tightrope bullshit, then, then she's just going to be like, well, what the fuck do you mean? But, so either way, it seems like she's just kind of fucked at that for right now. So it's just better for her to just simply just not, really bother with it for now. And try to kind of keep like any even private actions with that, as, kind of minimal. Counterattacks against her record as Attorney General. Yeah. And also can show that she's changed her positions on those things because that is a major stain on her record for me. And considering that, her as a VP, under the Biden's administration, not basically doing anything on this, even though they, mentioned they would at least decriminalize marijuana or, full on legalize it even. Not much of that process has happened. So, I mean, I know some of it has a little bit, but it's not really anywhere to like any degree where anything's changed on it, really. So it's just like, if she actually wants to, maybe make a pretty good push on that, yeah, that'd be good. But also, that'll galvanize a lot of voters, I think, if he doesn't actually have very much power. Well, yeah. It's basically kind of like, stand-in position for the most part. But it should kind of have a sense of power. It's meant to be kind of like, hey, when the president can't be there for certain shit, or hey, I gotta do a bunch of stuff. Like, it's like they're kind of meant to be like the backup guy, right? Like, and that should include even for when, duties of the president mean like, hey, I gotta go to like this summit, internationally, whatever, but I also need, someone to, kind of be in place for me to, go talk to, some of these senators or some shit about some bill or whatever. So send the VP over and like, basically kind of be, stand in for, for them until, they can both get back together and follow up with shit, So it's just one of those things where, I mean, honestly, it seems like the VP only really has as much power as the president gives them. That's really what it seems like, outside of, like, obviously the legalities of, what that position is. Because obviously there are rules about what a VP does and doesn't do and all sort of shit. I mean, but, like, beyond that, it seems like, it really, they only have as much power as, the president gives them. I mean, because there have been times where there have been vice presidents under other administrations where they've kind of flexed muscles before and shit, and, like, in service of that administration and shit, right? So it's not like, that shit, it's not like they don't have, like, no power at all or very little. It just seems like, it just depends on, like, how much is that given to them. And it seems like sometimes it's just almost kind of like an aesthetic role, in a way. Because, I mean, think about, like, Cheney, for example. Like, that guy was, pretty much damn near running most of the shit, behind Bush, and same thing for, and also with, like, LBJ with his VP and stuff, and with Kennedy, too. Like, their VPs, had at least, different roles and abilities to at least kind of flex their muscle a little bit as well. So it's not like, it's impossible for them to do anything. They can, but it just seems like, it only really depends on how much the president's willing to give them to that. She could be a lockstep behind, or she could have just pushed them to go further. We won't know unless she releases the platform. Yeah. And as it stands right now, she hasn't full on released it yet. But I think honestly, Tuesday might be that when she does that, or maybe on and maybe at the national convention. I don't know. It's gonna be something like that. I don't know. He knows I'm about to go back to work. Like, he could have waited like 10 minutes. Nah, whatever. Alright. Well, I'll at least get this last bowl smoked out, because that's going on, and that's always fucking fun. Good lord. But anyway, let's get myself back to work, so